Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today I'm going to bring you something interesting. I took the Equinox EV and instead of using a 350 kilowatt charger, I took it to a 150 kilowatt charger and I got some interesting results. Let's get into it. So everyone, to not overcomplicate things, essentially a 350 kilowatt charger the majority of the time is going to put up to 500 amps, which the Chevy Equinox EV needs to reach that advertised 150 kilowatt charging speed. So while it's really confusing, if you want to get 150 kilowatts, you really need to use a 350 kilowatt charger. I know, crazy. I wish they would make these things easier for customers to understand. And then there are 150 kilowatt chargers, and those usually do 350 amps, but they can actually reach up a little further sometimes. Some Electrify America will go 420, 460 amps, and which is pretty nice. But whatever, 350 is like the bottom for a 150 kilowatt charger. And what that means is if you plug your Chevy Equinox into that one, you're not going to get the 150 kilowatt charging speed. You're probably going to get something anywhere from like 110 to 120, maybe 130, 135 if it's on the upper end of the current output, but whatever. And if I said words like amp and current, just ignore me and just know 150 is going to be a little slower for the Chevy Equinox EV, and 350 is going to be a little faster, at least as far as max charge speed is concerned. But I had this theory, and my theory was, if I use a 150 kilowatt charger, since it doesn't put as much current out, and it'll be lower power, would it not heat the battery and everything up as much? And then you'd actually get a faster charge. And guess what? I tested it out. So here is the video of what I got. And just so you kind of understand how to navigate this video, in the bottom left hand, you'll see the timer. I wasn't not able to find a timer to overlay, so I had to like screen record for an hour, and it was crazy. But whatever. So that is the actual time for each of them. You'll see them pop in at different times because I kind of had some recording issues and charging issues, but I have aligned them to the proper timing so that they're moving together as if they were all plugged in at 10% at the exact same time. So that bottom left-hand corner is where you're going to find that time. The upper left-hand video is my first charging session I ever did on a DC fast charger at an EVgo Delta unit, which was a 350 kilowatt charger. I was not sharing power with anybody, and those are the results I got. It did max out at 500 amps. The upper right hand corner was another 350 kilowatt charger, an Electrify America, and again, I was not sharing that with anyone, and those are the results I got. If you've watched my other charging video, you've already seen both of these charge curves. And then on the bottom middle is the one I did at a Electrify America 150 kilowatt unit. It was putting a little bit over 350 amps from, 350 amps from what I could tell. So not the full 500, but which is actually what I wanted. I wanted less. So it's putting out the 350 amps so it could kind of prove my point if I was right. And we're going to find out. All right, let's go ahead and look at these charging curves. So here we go. They'll all pop up here in a second. Obviously the EVgo starts with higher power, so that is in first for a while, but it doesn't take too long for the 150 kilowatt session to catch up to the EVgo session at 30%, and then it catches up to the 350 EA session at 36%, which is really, really interesting. Then even more interesting, the 150 kilowatt reaches 50% faster than the EA session by 5 minutes and 9 seconds, and 7 minutes and 45 seconds faster than the EVgo session. So it is faster, at least right now in these conditions, to charge on a 150 than the 350. My guess is it doesn't heat things up as fast. Now what you'll notice in this section, the 150 actually slows down slower than the 350 sessions because the 350 sessions had a little bit longer to cool down. And then it takes 46 minutes for the 150 session to reach 80, which is a minute 52 faster than the EA and 5 minutes faster than the EVgo session. Now I want to pause here and talk about just some realities. When I ran really all of these tests, it's hot outside. So it's pushing the thermals to the limit. I have no doubt that if you plugged all these cars in when it's cooler, they would perform a little bit better. I'm not sure how much better, but it is my theory and belief that I think 150 kilowatt with the current charge profile might still be faster, but I'll have to test it out when it's cooler. So when it gets to around 68, 72 degrees, I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna charge test it again on a 350 versus a 150 just to see what the reality is. Also, I wasn't trying to scare people with my last video, but I was being real. A lot of, like, most EVs can deal with the thermals. The Equinox is struggling a little bit, but the thing is they can fix it. They can send updates. They can make the AC cool things faster. They can reduce amperage. There's a lot of things they can do to fix it. So if you're interested in the Equinox EV and you're gonna charge at home the majority of the time, like, you're gonna be okay. And I do think things are going to get better. I wasn't trying to freak everybody out and make people not buy a car. But it is a reality. I think once they fix it, it looks a little bit more like the Lyriq charging curve. I think it's gonna be perfect for most people. It won't be blazing fast, but I think it'll be good enough for most people. Here's a look at the charging curve. Obviously, you can see the EV Go is way faster at the initial. The EA is not as fast as the EV Go, and then the EA 150 is much lower. But watch, see how it's just flat all the way across, and then the other two, they dip. I call it the GM dip. They dip way early. Now, the 150 has the GM dip, but it's prolonged by a lot. But the thing is, it still kind of does the same thing where it drops down to 60 and then builds back up. So it seems like a pre-programmed cooling something. I don't know anything about that. So that walks back up there and never really catches up with the other one. So how can this information be useful to everybody? Well, charge at a 150 for now. It's generally going to be faster. That's how it can be useful. I'm going to keep testing to see if it stays true, but I think for now, that might be the best choice. And if you get stuck with the 150 kilowatt charger, it's not the end of the world. And honestly, some of you might plug it into them already because you thought that's the one you should plug into, but good on you. So that would be my recommendation. My other recommendation is use a 150 kilowatt charger and probably only charge up to 50, maybe 55, 60 tops, and then leave to save yourself some time. That would just be my recommendation. If you want to wait longer than that, 46 minutes, that's totally up to you. But at 50, it was like, what, 21 minutes? That's pretty good. That's a pretty regular stop, and you have plenty of range to get to the next charger. So this gives me hope, like I said, that they can fix it. I know it can do it. I just think it's some things they need to tweak, and I'm sure they're going to do it because they did it with the Lyriq. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like and a subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will catch you all next time.